everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a super quick card tutorial to share with you, making this adorable little Easter card. I'd had this idea in my head to use washi tape with dies for quite a while, and I thought Easter was the perfect time to give this a go. If I'm going to be honest, this card isn't my favourite. It's a bit of an unusual colour scheme for me. There's just something about it that I'm not 100% happy with how it all came together in the end, but I thought the technique was still worth showing. So here I am using my stitched egg dies by Lawn Fawn, and I'm just quickly marking out the outline of them on some white cardstock. I've got some really cute washi tape here. It's kind of like a marbled, foiled washi, and it's in a few really nice bright colours. As much as I love these colours, I think these are maybe the reason I didn't like how the card turned out in the end. But it was really fun to see if this would even work. So what I'm doing here, other than struggling to find the end of the washi tape, is just laying it down on my white cardstock as close as I can to the other pieces so that there is no gap between them. And I've got a bit of a pattern going here, and I'm just sticking to it. I'm just going to keep doing this until the egg is full. Once that's done, I pop my stitched egg die over the top and then ran it through my die cut machine, and here we have it. It actually worked out really nice. The washi tape on top of my cardstock didn't affect the thickness too much. It ran through my die cut machine super easy, and it actually has that really nice stitch detail very visible on it. Once that was done, I then did the same for the smaller egg. Now for my little bunny, I'm using this adorable little cutie from the Peekaboo Pals stamp set by Avery Elle. I think the bunny is my favourite in this set. He is just so cute. And it might surprise you, but I actually don't have any of the bunnies by Lawn Fawn. That's why I went with an Avery Elle stamp for this card instead. We do celebrate Easter in my family, but I feel like Easter is the holiday that I craft the least for. I'd like to change that in the future, but for now this is what I have to work with. So I'm just colouring in this little bunny with my Copic markers before giving him some white highlights. Once he was done, I then cut some white cardstock with my largest stitched rectangle die, a piece of white cardstock that I inked up with some green ink with my little grassy border, and I also used one of those little sandy accents. It was a tiny little die set that Lawn Fawn brought out a little while ago, and I used that to cut a piece of my grassy ground so that I could slip one of the eggs in there a bit later. I'm keeping my background super simple for this. I'm just using some tumbled glass Distress Oxide ink with my bone blending tool because I want a really pale blue for this. And I'm just starting in the center and going around and around until it darkens up the center and is just really pale around the edges. This is a technique that I really need to work on a little bit more. I do see it in a lot of cards, and I think that this is how it's done from what I can see. Again, I think I'm just very heavy-handed with my inks, and that's why it doesn't always turn out the way I hope. I'm going over this with a little bit of water for some texture, and then I'm going to add some blue flecks in the same colour. And then after that, I'm going to be using my gold watercolour pigments and sprinkling a little bit of that over the top so that it ties in with the gold flecks in the washi. I then went over my green grass just a little bit more because it was looking a little bit flat. As silly as that is for a flat piece of cardstock, it just didn't have the dimension that I wanted. So I added some darker green and some flecks onto this one too. My sentiment on this card is going to be Happy Easter, so I'm taking the same purple washi that I used on the egg and putting it on some white cardstock. I'm then cutting out the letters for the word Easter with my Coles ABC dies. I then found the word happy in one of my other stamp sets. I think this was the Happy Village stamp set. I'm blocking out the word housewarming, and I'm just stamping the word happy at the top of my card front. I then glued on the letters for Easter. Once it was stuck down, it was then time to assemble my card front. But before I do, I'm sticking on some double-sided tape onto the back so that I can adhere this to my card base. Once that was done, it was then time to start adhering on the other pieces. So I'm sticking the largest egg down first and placing it behind the grass. There's not a lot of dimension in this card. I didn't use things like foam squares or foam tape, but I'm hoping that layering these things will give it just a little bit of dimension. Before sticking down the grass and the egg at the front, I'm going to be putting my bunny in, just so I know where he's going to sit. I wanted him to have his little paws, one on each egg, so I needed to place him in there first. Once I had decided on the position of the bunny and his paws, I then adhered the other egg into its spot and glued down the grass. And with that, this card was done. It was so quick and easy to make. I hope you'll give the washi tape a go. It was lots of fun. I can't wait to use this technique on some other cards soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.